Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I have my part 2 finally available. Man, I'm excited about finally getting this information out. It took me quite a while to piece it together and everything. And also, along the way of researching more stuff, the Lord was showing me He had more stuff to show me, more stuff I had to gather for part 2, and even going into part 3. I'm going to have a part 3. All this stuff works together, and you have to watch part 1. Now, I'm going to have the link in the description box below for part 1. Please watch that first if you can before this part 2. It's absolutely necessary. You're going to miss a lot of things. Each video has its own great stuff from start to finish, and in the middle and everything like that. I kind of designed it that way with the Lord, and then but you have to watch them all together, and succinctly in succession here. So 1, 2, 3. And the payoff is in each one, but there's a massive payoff in the three. Especially now, I know where I'm going with this, and you will not believe what I found. You will not believe it. I mean, you'll believe it, but it'll be it's fantastical. It's kind of fantastical to tell you. And I've got some incredible stuff in this one, but when 3 comes out, it'll blow you out of the water. I mean, seriously, it blew me out of water. I was sharing with a couple friends, and they're just like, "What? How is this possible? How did you find this stuff and all that?" So I'm excited to bring this out, but I have to explain this whole thing because it's a bit complicated. Okay, anyway, so in the link description box, there's a link in the description box below for the first video. Watch that first, please. So do yourself a favor, don't miss anything. This is I'm building a case for this time frame, these 2 time frames, and what they mean and everything. So without further ado, let me get into this, okay? And I'm the Exalted Lamb 1. My motto, though, is, that I show on Telegram. I'm also going to include a link to Telegram this time. I haven't for a while, but I will include a link to Telegram if you want to sign up, if you want to see some updates, and also I'll let people know when my videos come up on that. YouBoob, I call them YouBoob. They basically turn off notifications. They do all kinds of stuff to me. They have for years. They shadow ban me and everything else. It's insane. Some of my videos used to get 100,000 views. Now I'm lucky to get 8 to 10,000, and I have 27,000 plus subscribers. How does that make sense? I mean, literally, they shadow ban me for my own people, not to mention new people. And so I don't get very many new people each video, but I do get some. Anyway, so you please share this. So share this with as many people as you can, because this is very extensive. This is very detailed, and it is on point. It is on point. Share this with as many people as you can, because this is coming, okay? And again, I'm going to pretty much prove this. Now, I can't guarantee this. I've never guaranteed this is going to happen. I'm saying these things are going to happen, but I can't guarantee when they're going to happen, what the time frame is, and all that stuff. But I'm going to make an incredible case. So without further ado, let me keep going here. So, and let me go over again predictive programming. This is my definition compiled with other things out there to kind of give the best definition of what predictive programming is. Because anytime you watch something, TV, movies, videos, commercials, it's all programming you, okay? And that's what it's designed to do, to get everybody to a ideal end. And that end for them, the end for them is that there's a one world dictator, one world government, one world religion, and everybody's tapped in with the mark to be controlled by one person, okay? And it's, there's several demons, and ultimately that one person's possessed by Satan, okay? But he's the one person at the top of the pyramid to control everybody below, and I mean just ironclad control until the Lord steps in and everything. He's given a certain amount of time. He's given 42 months to rule and all that. So anyway, that is, that's their goal. Beyond that, they don't care. They don't have things programmed really beyond that. Now, the Bible talks about stuff beyond that and everything, but they really, what I found is they just care about getting to that point. So everything's predictive programming to that point. Now, it also includes the attack on 9/1 and then 1 that happened in 2001, and then it also includes the time frame I'm talking about that's coming up in December here, and I'm going to get into that. And then, but ultimately, we're talking about the mark rolling out on the eclipse day, and I'm going to do my best in the first video, I've showed you so much stuff, and do my best to really show you even more on this video, and finally the last video, and now that connects, and that the eclipse day of April 8th, 2024 is going to be the rollout of the mark with aliens and everything else, as the mass a delusion that the enemy is going to bring. Okay, so predictive programming is a subtle form of psychological conditioning woven into the fabric of all mass media, designed to subconsciously program and or consciously acquaint the public with pre-planned societal changes, ideas, or events. These changes, ideas, or events eventually become reality, largely because the public, over time, has already become programmed and or familiarized with them, accepting them as natural progressions, thus eliminating virtually all possible public resistance, commotion, or investigation. Now, this is a very concerted effort. Okay, again, it's in everything you. If anything you're consuming in the media, up to millions, hundreds of thousands of people, or millions of people are consuming it. That's where the enemy is behind it. Okay, and there are people are inspired by demons behind the scenes, and they have been for hundreds and thousands of years to get to this point, to get to the end point that they want to get to. So this is all programming people. So all of our societal changes and things that begin more distorted and go in a certain direction, that's all been programmed this whole time. Okay, and I want to also bring in, which I haven't for a long time, this idea. Okay, so this is predictive programming utterly in a nutshell, and this is where this definition of predictive programming comes from. It comes from ultimately the Satanic Bible, okay, and Anton LaVey. Okay, this is a quote from him. Non-ritual or manipulative magic, sometimes called lesser magic, consists of the wile and guile obtained through various devices and contrived situations, which when utilized can create change in accordance with the subject's will. Now, we're talking about individuals, but mainly en masse. The subjects are, the masses. Okay. Now, you could do individual things that they do with witchcraft and things like that, but this is talking about en masse. So various devices. So they have their gematria. They have all kinds of symbolisms, and then contrived situations. So every time you see something in the news, you see a movie, these are all contrived situations. And built in them are the mind control and the mind manipulation through numbers, through symbols, through emotions, all kinds of stuff to manipulate people to go down a particular path that they want. And that's called control. That's called witchcraft. Ultimately, it's witchcraft. It's what it is. A witch or a warlock, they're there for control. They want to manipulate someone to go down a path they want. That's what that's all about. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's their existence. There's nothing more than that's exactly what it is, okay? So that's the best, even more than predictive programming. This is the root of all this, what predictive programming is, okay? It's just so you know, these are all Satanists. These are all Luciferians that are behind this, that are, for example, in Freemasonry, or you could say even in Luciferianism, or what do you call it? I can't think of it right now, but then I'll think of it in a second here. So, Kabbalism, okay, the Kabbalists that use these numbers in the letters and in words, okay, and I'm going to share that with you. So I'm going to finally, in this video, get to the title of my part 1 and part 2, and ultimately part 3, why they deleted iPad Go 2. Okay, and exactly why. Okay, but I had to build this up and then include this in all the reasons why, what's going on for these time frames. So I'm going to get to that in this video finally. So and then my timeline of probable events is pinned to the top of comments in this video. And so these events are going to start kicking off. So I just show you a beginning and an end date, in a sense, December 9th through December 24th. Christmas Eve, okay, and that's also symbolic. Christmas Eve and Christmas is crazy. Like Obama said, I'm going to win the war on Christmas, and that was in a dinner that he had. It's like a media dinner that he had, and he revealed over his presidency, he revealed several truths, like jokingly in those dinners, all kinds of things like that. So that, again, that's pinned to the top of comments. So check that out right away if you can, so you can see what all the different events are going to happen between December 9th and December 24th. And then I'm going to explain how this is going to go all the way to the eclipse day of April 8th, 2024. Okay, and that's the rolling out of the mark. So let's just keep going. Okay, so there it is right there. So we have 2 eclipses. This eclipse right here, okay, happened back in 2017. And then this one's coming in April 8th, 2024. And between these 2 eclipses, which X out United States, okay, and the United States is slated for destruction because we're in the way. We were the military industrial complex, but we're about to be removed and replaced by China and Russia to be the military, and then basically China to be the industrial complex, okay? And this has all been in the plan, in the works, and in programming for in movies and TV for so long. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I've been covering this for a while, for over 5 years now. Okay, so from that eclipse day to that eclipse day, it's exactly 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days. Again, at the end here is the mark, which is the 666. It's the mark that everybody will be forced to receive or be beheaded. The ones who are still here, the ones who have being taken away that are faithful in Christ will be taken off the planet, and I'll show that's in the December time frame. Okay, but the ones that will be forced to take that will be forced into his body, and he will be the head. He'll be the fake head, like Jesus is the head of the body of Christ, and we will meet him up to become a body. Later on, after that, the Antichrist will be, he's the head that will force his body to take the mark and be a false body, and he can keep tabs on everybody, them and everybody else. Okay, it's really sick. Okay, but they're in their whole symbolism and symbolic numbers and everything else is 6666, along with the 666. Okay, along with the 3 sixes, they have the 4 sixes, and this is what the 4 sixes are, because it's about this, and that's when it rolls out. Okay, now let's keep going here. So, for example, look at this X here. That reason why Elon Musk rolled this out is because it's about the X. It's about that time frame. Okay, so for example, Twitter is now X. This was put out. Now again, he's tied to this in so many ways. I'm going to show this. So Elon and Musk, they both add up to the same thing. Now you see different numbers here, and I've used this. Lord's recently showed me how English and reverse, English Sumerian and reverse. By the way, English Sumerian is just 6 times English ordinal, and then these are the reverses of them. Okay, but these together, and when you add these up, you add them up backwards, they show you all kinds of stuff. And I've learned so much, and I'm undoing this code that they're showing. So, for example, Elon and Musk separately are 108. When you just add up the English and reverse, 108, and both are 108. And then so both that times 6 is 648. Well, 108, I'm going to get into 108 and roll it out here in this video more and more, but I'm not going to get into it at this very moment. But right now, 108 everything has to do with this date. So this is exactly backwards. 8th of April, and then the 24th year, or 2024, 24 is showed by 2 plus 4 is 6. So 8th of April, 2024. 8th of April, 24 is 6. Okay, so that's, and then that it's in each of his names. 108 and 648 are 8th of April, 24. Backwards, 108 and 8th of April, 24. Backwards, it's in each of his names. Okay, now, again, right here, we have 108, and we have 6 plus 4 is 10. 108. See, even still, that's still 108. And this stuff is in so many things. And again, I'll get into that more. But right here, just to show you, 108 times 6 is the mark backwards. Again, 8th of April, 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. Okay. And then we have 108 is also, the reason I have these colored differently is because it's 10 and 8. 10 plus 8 is 18. And 18 is hiding 6 plus 6 plus 6. So on the day of the eclipse, there's going to be the rollout of 666. So, I'm going to get into this more and more and more as we go on. Okay, now moving on here. And then because there's 2 names, you add because his name is not just Elon or Musk, you add it together, and so you add 108 to 108, and you get 216. What is that? Oh, well, that's the day that Barack Obama was born, the day of the year, the 216th day of the year, August 4th. Okay, he was born. And what is 216? 6 times 6 times 6. Remember, I showed you 6 plus 6 plus 6. But another way of showing the mark that's coming of 666 is 6 times 6 times 6. And he bears that in the day he was born. The future Antichrist Obama. Okay, that's who that is. And who's coming. And people who don't believe that and know that, I have over 700 plus solid evidences that Sticky B.O., Barack Obama, wow. Anyway, have all kinds of names for him. I call him Beelzebub Butthead, the Lord of the Buttheads. I mean, all kinds of names. But he is the one that's going to be coming out. Is there any denial that he is behind Uncle Nasty Joe Biden time? There's no doubt. Okay, people that don't understand that or realize that, that's why he was even elected, because everybody knew he is behind him. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Okay, so this plus that's what this is, 216, and then this both reverse of the day, kind of coded of the day of the mark or the eclipse day. This time plus this is 1296, which of course, because this is the times this is 6 times that, is another 6. So 6 times 6 times 6. So what's this saying is this is the mark on the 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days. Okay, that's the code here. And it's in all this, and it just happens to be in his name, and each name, you put them together and you get that? No, there's more here. So here's one of his companies, formerly Twitter, is now X. Then we have SpaceX, and then we have one of his companies, AI, and then another one of his companies is X Corp. So he likes X. I wonder why. Because as I showed you his name, remember? So because that's 6, 6, X is 2 plus 4 is 6. 20, X is 24, 24th letter of the alphabet, 2 plus 4 is 6. So all these companies he has are X's, and they 666. Again, 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days. That's what this is showing. And even in this logo for one of his companies, X Corp, you see this is the there's the eclipse that goes across this way, and there it is. It's defined. It's not this one that matters. It's that one. That's the day it rolls out, and that's the day the mark goes out. And there it is. Okay. Is there any? And then look, Corp is in, describing what this X is. That is 108 again, and the day of the eclipse. And so that's even confirming that even more. And then this Corp, remember, that was each one of his names were 108 and 648. Is that a massive coincidence? No, it's all planned. These aren't massive off the charts coincidences, okay? These are planned. So just like X Corp, that is also accentuated in SpaceX. Okay, his other company, you see that right there. That X is that eclipse right here that goes across the United States. The one that first happened in August 21st, 2017, and the one that's going to be in 2024, April 8th, right here. Okay, is there any question about that? Do you think that you're like, oh, there's no way that could be that? Oh, I can't see the truth. Maybe it's right in front of my face. Well, how about this? Boom, another one of his logos. That's not an eclipse. SpaceX is not on top of an eclipse. I mean, how obvious can you get? Seriously. And then inside here, to prove that even more, is PACE. It's included inside the eclipse. Well, that would tell you something. Well, it does. PACE is also, 108 and 648. Oh, the day of the eclipse backwards, and 108. Again, we're going to get into more 108 is. All the multiple things that 108 is soon here. But look at that. Again, Elon Musk, that Corp is all 108 and 648. Is that just a chance? I mean, there's no way that could be chance that all that adds up. And then if you look at this version of SpaceX right here, it's literally, look at that, SP, look, it's a Y. See that Y sideways? They're spying. See, they tell you the truth in these things. It's hidden in plain sight. It's spying on sex. Okay, that just shows you how intimate it can be. Okay, as far as an example, they're spying on sex. Okay, because it's SpaceX, spy sex. Okay, but it's more than that. CEX is also this. Now, what's CEX? Look, it's 108 backwards or 18 backwards, which is 6 plus 6 plus 6. And then we have the exact date. Remember, we had a reverse with Elon and Musk and Corp and Pace. Now we have it forward. 4th of April, and then 24th year, or 2 plus 4 is 6, 486. And like in my previous video, the 486 computer is pre-programming you to the day of the mark. And computers, the base computers like Apple and stuff I shared in my last video, and the 486 were showing what computers will ultimately become: a control device. Hello, I mean, if you don't understand that, you're not thinking things through in your life. Okay, if you understand that computers eventually will control the human race, that's the whole point. When you put that computing and you have that massive technology in a technocracy, when one person is controlled, Satan, I mean, game over for everybody who doesn't believe in God. I mean, game over. And you're cursed if you accept that mark. You're absolutely cursed, and there's no game over for you. So don't do it, and wake up before this comes around. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to wake people up and show them this is coming around, and prove this somewhat. Now, if you take 8, now you another way of doing this, you add these up, and then you add all this up, or you just add it all the way across. But if you add this plus this, you get 5, 6, 7. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is because. Why is that important? Because 567 is made up of 351 plus 216, and these are the days of the year of the births of the Antichrist right here and his false prophet. The Pope was born, like I shared in my last video, the 351st day of the year. The Pope was born on December 17th, and Obama was born on the 216th day of the year, August 4th. Okay, and and I'm gonna show you how they relate and how they're in all this stuff. It's crazy. So also we have SPY. Not only have SPY sex or SPY CEX and all that, we have, look at this as a mirror. They do this a lot. That's how they hide things sometimes. So think of this as a mirror. So this goes this way, and you read this way. So SPY, and then read this, read sex or CEX backwards. That's XEC, XEC, XEC. There, so it's SPY XEC, SPY, and then read this backwards. XEC. SPY exec is what? Oh, well, the head of the executive branch of the U.S. government is President of the United States. The executive spying executive. Okay? They're emitting in their name that they're going to be spying. And that's what it is. These satellites that are put up there, they're to create what they call the space fence. And ultimately, it's going to be complete control. And I've done research on this way before I did YouTube videos and back almost 12 years ago. And I understood some of the awesome researchers and things that have written books, and I could name names and all this stuff. You can look it up anytime you want, and these details. But they are going to have all these satellites that work as a unit, as one device, pretty much, to control the population. They're going to be in the sky, and then they're going to get rid of all towers, pretty much all towers on the ground, so no one can have access, no one can blow them up. I'm going to give you an example. Like when they put out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A B C D F G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A B C D F G. Okay, that when they put that out in India, for example, some people were dropping dead. And when they put that out in Wuhan, a lot of people were dropping dead. They were testing this on people with these towers, and because they already were able to put the hokey pokey in them. Okay, they were kind of forced by mandate already. Chinese government forced it in everybody by the end of December 2019. And so then the first city to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A, B, C, D, F, G was Wuhan, and then they all started dropping dead. Well, in India, when they did this and tested on people were dropping dead. What they did was they realized what's going on. This tower went up, and I have video of it, everything. I'm not going to show it here, but you can look it up, where they're literally burning down the tower, because they know that several relatives just dropped dead. As soon as this tower went up, they were like, duh, this tower goes up, and people start dropping dead. Duh, it's that. Hello. But people can't figure that out. And then they're literally I see them, they're burning this down, and they're explaining what's going on. All these family members dropped dead, and then right after this thing went up. And they could figure it out easily. So they took it upon themselves, the community, to burn this thing down. It was in flames. This big tower was on the base of it. It was all in flames because they were burning this thing down. I mean, seriously, that's what's going on here, okay? And they're going to get rid of all these things so people can't burn them down or do anything. It's all going to be in the sky. So who can get into the stuff in the sky or in so-called whatever space that is, okay? I'm not going to get into all that with flat earth and all that stuff, so it doesn't matter. It's out there somewhere, okay? So, and to kind of show this a little bit, what they show you little tidbits of this, but secretly it's more than this. Of course, Biden quietly tapped Obama to help shape his AI strategy. Again, this is the control and the XAI and all this stuff. Former President Barack Obama advised the White House over the past 5 months on his plan to address artificial intelligence. It's all about control. He's involved. He's in the background. This is what they'll admit a little bit, but they didn't have to admit this, but they're basically saying half truths, like he's behind this stuff, he's in the background. He even admitted it to Stephen Colbert. If you watch Stephen Colbert, one of his new shows or whatever, Obama sat there and like, yeah, I would sit there and I would be in my sweatpants and put a thing in the president's ear, and I could tell him what to do and everything. I mean, he would have and he goes, I would have no problem with that. And so he's admitting what he's going to do with Biden time, okay, with creepy Uncle Joe Biden time. I mean, that's what he said. He said it would do that. Okay, and then as far as the exec spying, the executive in Vatican City is the Pope. He's the ex officio, or the executive official, sovereign and head of the state of Vatican City since 1929. And by the way, 1929 is 19 and 2 nines. If you have 19 and 2 nines, you have 999. Upside down and backwards is 666. Okay, so he delegates executive authority to the president, but he is the executive. So again, executive spying. They're both the executives, okay? And Stinky BO was the executive, but he's still, I'm telling you, the Lord made it very clear to me, once he became president, he never left. He's behind the scenes. Everybody's bowing down to him. And whether you know this or not, even Trumple, when Trumple was in, it's all a plan. He is a complete Trojan horse for Christians and conservatives, and he will be knocked out very soon. All planned. Trump knows about all this stuff. He knows what's coming. It's all designed to get the Christians and conservatives all get their hopes up and then take it all away, and then blame all the Christian conservatives and then go after them. When Stinky BO is the so-called Antichrist, they're going to go after them and hunt them down, every one of them, and get rid of all of them. The ones who basically cause nuclear war and everything else. I mean, it's crazy, okay? So look at there. Again, Twitter's now X. To show you an example, Twitter's now X. It breaks down to these two, this plus this. English plus reverse is 351, and then this plus this is 2. Take away the 0. We have 351 and 216. That's just chance. And there we go again. There's so many. I could give you hundreds. I have hundreds of these that have to do with all these different subjects about this time, and all these things like Great American Eclipse and all this different stuff. And their numbers are in all these. I mean, it's just crazy. And I'm gonna show you more about this. And then here this jackwagon doing the X sign for his XAI. Okay. And so are these jackwagons as well, right here. And this is the only time that that the DC universe and the Marvel universe can agree on anything. They both agree on the X. They both agree on the control, the mark that's coming out. They both agree on that. And he sacrificed himself for that, or who let himself be sacrificed for that. And that may be coming for her, who knows? But there are symbols for this. There are in so many ways. The black, as I'm going to show you here. Now watch. Now Wonder Woman. Okay, there's so much stuff in this, as well as 9/12, December 12th, the first day, right here, as well as so many things I'm not going to describe right now. And then in Black Panther, you have 666, and this is also 12. 7 plus 8 is 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. 12, 6 upside down and backwards is 9/12 also. But there's so much in here, but I'm just going to show you this right now. So if you go add these all up backwards, so 219 plus, don't count the 0, 219 plus 78 plus 251 plus 541 equals 1,089. And then you go this way forward, you add these up. Sorry, this one's backwards also. This is backwards, and that is 9810. Well, see how these look similar? You got 9, and that's almost exactly 9801 or 9810 this way. See how they're similar? Because this is the eclipse day. How is that? Well, then if you go backwards here or forward, this is the 98th day of the year. Is April 8th. Every year is 98. But then next year, the 2024 is when the eclipse is going to happen. It's the 99th day of the year because we have a extra day. Okay. It's the I hate it when I have a little mind. It's the when you have an extra day in the year. Okay, I can't think of the word right now for some reason. Anyway, so you have an extra day. So that's 98 showing you the day of the year, which is April 8th, and plus 1 being a leap year. Okay, that's what it is. A leap day and a leap year. Okay, and the same thing here. 98th day of the year plus 1. See, they're showing that. They're showing the day of the X. The 98th day of the year plus 1 is the 99th day of the year, April 8th, 2024. Is that just a coincidence that they both are like that? They're both backwards. They both represent 98 plus 1? No, it's not. I could show you. I have like 20 more things about these guys that would show you even more, but I'm not. Keep this in mind. Everything I show you, I probably have 10, 20, 30, 100 things very similar to the same thing I show you in Gematria, but then I'd have a 20-hour video. I mean, it's crazy. So I just had to hit certain subjects kind of quickly. Now, if you add these up, now watch how the 9s work, because 8 plus 1 is 9, 9, 9. They add up to 9s again and 8s again. Okay, but so you add these two from each one of these people, right? The Wonder Woman or these characters, Wonder Woman and Black Panther, you get 108 again, 99. So, but I'm going to show you how this works a little bit. See how this is still 108 and this is still 108, and this is still kind of 108. And then anytime you have a 9, anything you add 9 to stays the same, so you can get rid of any 9. So you get rid of these 9s, just have 108 still. You get rid of that 9, you still have 108. Now I'm going to show you something with this. It is 108. It's 108. Most people don't say 108. Because we're programmed. Because that O is Obama, okay? And is it a coincidence that O is 15, 1 plus 5 is 6, that O is 6, and 6 is the number for the world, or you have 2 sixes or 3 sixes is the mark, and then 6666 or 6666 is the time between both eclipses, and that's symbolic for when it's coming out. No, it's not. It's not a coincidence that this is 6. So 108 is 115.8 because 0 is hiding O and O is 15. Again, 1 plus 5 is 6, so it's 168. Now you flip that upside down and backwards, and you have, now you got to read this backwards, or I'm going to do a mirror of this right here. You have, read this backwards, or you do a mirror, 1 plus 98. Again, we had 1 plus 98, right? Or 98 plus 1, or 98 plus 1 here. See how this works? 108 is still hiding this. 168 upside down and backwards is 1 plus 98. Okay, now let's go over here. 1 plus 8 is 9. Get rid of the 0. 1 plus 8 is 9. So we have 999. And then upside down and backwards is 666. And what do these have in common here? Well, 666 is also 6 plus 6 is 12. And then we have a 6. So 126. And what is 126 hiding? 12.6 is hiding 4th of April 24. Because 4 plus 8 is 12. And 2 plus 4 is 6, okay? That's why I showed you earlier. Then that's how Obama is. You just switch these two. He's 216, which is hiding 1 and 2 just switched, hiding 216 the day of the year he was born. So that's showing, because he's going to be born on, and this just happened, he's going to be born, check this out. Okay, this is crazy. Stinky BO was born on the 216th day of the year, which is just switching this 126, or the 216 to 126, okay, for the eclipse day. And he was born on August 4th, and this is April 8th. He was born on 8/4 and the 216th day of the year, and this is 126 and 4/8/24. I mean, it's crazy. Both of these are some version of the day he was born. The day of the year, 216th day of the year, and 4/8 or 8/4, 4th of August. So you have 4th of April, 4th of August, or April 8th. Okay, but that's predictably programming. The reason why he has those dates secretly, because they form something else and they make this future birthday, and that's one of his births. His final birth is when the false Christ is attached to his false body. Okay, and then that is the 98th day of the year plus 1. So this is how these all come together. They are incestuous numbers. They make each other. Okay, they come around and make each other again. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So we literally have this date is the rollout of 666, and it's the 98th day of the year plus 1, or the 99th day of the year this day, and it's rolling out. See how these all come together, and this pattern keeps happening in so many things. It's in so many things. It's like designed in everything in English. It's designed in all these subject matters. It's just crazy. Okay, so again, we have this. So not only is 8 times 6, 108 times 6 is the eclipse day backwards. It's also 18, which is 6 plus 6 plus 6. Now we're going to go off here and show this again. Again, 108 is 168. Upside down and backwards is 191, which is the 1 plus 98 is the day of the year. Okay, so you have the day of the year is the 98th day of the year plus 1, or 99th day of the year. The eclipse date, and then 666. And there's more coming down the road here. But right here, then 168 or 108 is 168. 1 and then 6 plus 8 is 14. And 1 plus 1 is 2 and 4, and that's 24 as the year of this. So that's also symbolized by the year. And also, what's 24? 24 is X. 24 is X. X is the 24th. See how this works? Okay, hopefully you do. I have to show a lot of this detail because this is how I'm showing how this is all ingrained in all these things, and pretty much everything that's out there in the media. That's what it's designed to do, to program people ultimately to their end goal of mass control, and then they're good. Okay, so the X is 24, and that's why he has Twitter is now X. And then that's also, 24 is also hiding 2 4s. Who is that? That's 44th president, okay? Stinky BO, the 44th pres, okay? And that's also 24x is 42 backwards. What's that? Well, in Revelation 13:5, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. He's going to reign for 42 months. And that's 24 backwards. So again, this is showing all this stuff. This is beginning his reign over everybody, controlling everybody, okay? That's how this works, okay? And then 42 months just happens to be 1,260 prophetic days. So 42 prophetic months, that's in Revelation, are 30-day periods. A month is a 30-day period, okay? A prophetic month. And then you have 42 30-day periods, and that's 1,260 days. Well, let's get rid of the 0 and the days, and we have 1, 2, 6. There it is. Again, that's secretly hiding 4, 8, 24, like I showed you earlier. I'm going to keep showing you this, so just keep this in mind. Remember, that's really 216. That's hiding 216. CBO's birthday, or day of the year he was born. Okay, and that's 126, the eclipse day. Okay, so keep showing that many ways. But also another way they look at this. This is how the elite look at this. When they see an X, they look at it forward and reverse. Okay, and then they put it together. So how does that work? So when they look at this X, they think forward and reverse. A lot of times they think just reverse secretly, but then they do it forward and reverse. Now watch. When you have forward and reverse of X, X is the 24th letter of the alphabet, and reverse, if you go from Z and backwards, it's the 3rd letter. Okay, so now watch this. 2 plus 4 is 6, and then 3 is made up of 1 and 2. So there we go. We have 1, 2, 6. See, 1, 2, 6. Or backwards, it's 2, 1, 6. The 216th day of the year was born 44th president. Or that 216, that backwards equals a 44th pres born on the 216th day of the year. See how this works? It's crazy. It's intricate. And also 126, or the clip, one of the hidden eclipse day of 126 is 21 times 6 equals 126, and 21 times 6 is 216. See, 21 times 6. See how that works? Again, they're incestuous numbers. They make each other. They get together and they make each other. And that's kind of funny. That's how the elite have been for so long. The elite kings, and for so long, in all kinds in history and antiquity and all, they kept to each other. They multiplied with each other, so they keep the royal bloodlines and all that, and they went all started losing their minds, and all the DNA started breaking down. Anyway, so there again, there it is, 216 here. That's him. Okay, now watch. So again, this is the day of the eclipse, and this is it simplified. So again, day of the eclipse is April 8th, 24. 4 plus 8 is 12. 2 plus 4 is 6. Again, 126 was really 216. But let me show you how they're both related to this right here. So now watch. Again, CKBO is 216. 2 plus 1 is 3, and then we have a 6. Now look at the Pope. 35 plus 1 is 36. See how they're equal right there? This is how this works. This is what's behind the scenes that people don't know or see. This is how these guys are the same, or they're together, and you put them together. Now watch. What is 3, 6 or 3, 6? It's 3 6s. 666. They're both 666. In fact, he's the 266th Pope. 266 is hiding 2 6s and 1 6. If he's the 266th Pope, that's 2 6 and 1 6. 2 6s and 1 6 is 3 6s. Hello, McFly. Hello, McFly. Okay, so that's that. Okay, and then also, 36 is not only 3 hiding 3 6s. It's also 3 plus 6 and 3 plus 6. 3 plus 6 and 3 plus 6 is 9 and 9. And that just happens to be the 99th day of the year. Just happens to be April 8th, 2024, the day they roll out the 666. I mean, give me a break. It's right there in these two guys. Well, things. These guy things, whatever, anyway. I'm not getting into all that right now, okay? And then just like X, see these Z's? Just the Z. This is when Russia invaded Ukraine, okay? The day, and for several days after, that all these Z, just a single Z on all these, because they're programming the people that are seeing all the news across the world and seeing them invade. It's telling everybody, it's programming them. Why they put a Z? Again, the letters and numbers are communication. If you just put a Z, you're obviously hiding something because people don't know what that means. Well, that could all Z, I think, also translate in Russian to 3 somehow. I forget how it is. Again, I've looked at that. But even more than that, I'm going to show you what this is translating. Just like I showed you with X. It's forward and reverse. Again, Z, now I put reverse first just to show it a little easier. But reverse and forward is 1, because Z is the first letter going backwards, and forward is the last letter, 26th letter. Again, we have 126. And remember, 126 is 4, 8, 24. So when that is happening, they're saying the mark is coming on this day, on the eclipse. That's what they're saying in the Z. I'm telling you, the Lord's showing me this. Believe it or not, and I'm proving it. I'm proving it is in so many ways. There's no way this could line up in so many different ways I'm showing. There's no way. Okay, so how does Russia equal the mark? What this is happening again? Remember contrived situations. Remember lesser magic, contrived situations. Okay, this was a contrived situation. This is false. This is all manipulated. The people in Russia, Putin's in the club. He manipulated all this stuff. It's all a plan to manipulate people to thinking, and then it's all of this theater. You remember if you watch like war, they call it the theater of war, because it's an act. I mean, that's not a coincidence. They call it the theater of war. It's a theater. But people don't think about that. They don't think, why is it called theater of war? Whatever, because it's an act. And all these things are plays on words and everything. Okay, so what does that have to do? Well, Russia and the mark have to do with invasion. When this is secretly putting this idea of invasion. So Russia invaded Ukraine. The mark is going to invade people, invade bodies. Okay, and I'm going to show that in many ways. What's invasion? Invasion is 103 plus 113 is 216. And then 618 plus 678 is 1296. Well, again, 216 is, again, that's Stinky Bill. Remember, 216 is 6 times 696. The mark, 666 on. And then 1296 is 6 times 6 times 6 times 6 on 6666. Remember, 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days. The mark on the six years of doing the eclipse. Now let me show you another way. Okay, how this is control. Now watch. What's this date? What's January 7th, 2020? Well, on January 7th, 2020, Chinese authorities confirmed that they had identified the virus. I'm just going to say it because I can't say what it says exactly. The novel coronaviruses, okay, initially named this, whatever. They isolated those so-called, not really, it's all, again, it's a contrived situation. They isolated those, the coronavirus viruses, and that is the birth of the coronavirus viruses, or COVID-19, or I like to call it the COVID 1984. The COVID 1984. The con on the video on the news 1984. Okay. Anyway, and so that is the birth of the invader, birth of invader. Okay. Now watch this. Now what happens 777 days later? Well, by the way, 777 is how it looks in Hebrew for Jehovah. Okay, for God. And again, CKBO, the false Christ, also wants to be the false God. In fact, he's going to just skip being Christ. He's just be the false God, the Son God, the false God. But in a sense, he's going to be touted as the Christ, the Christ, or which we know he's going to be the false Christ. Okay, but see how that looks like 777? Well, they love that. And that has everything to do with his birth as the false God. Okay, so watch. From here to there is 777. What is that? Oh, that just happens to be the invasion. So February 22nd and 23rd, 2022 was the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. Okay, but a lot of people don't know the 22nd is included in the 23rd. They know that on the 23rd of in the United States it happened, but in the 24th it happened over there technically because time zones. And by the way, it happened on February 24th, which is 2024, the year of the mark. That's a coincidence? I don't think so. Okay, but then watch. I'm going to prove this that. Biden time, creepy Uncle Joe Biden time, basically said that this is the beginning of the Russian invasion, and that was dated on this day. So it basically was announced and then happened on that day. It was announced by him and happened on the day. Normally, with most timelines and things that happen, something happens, then it's announced by the media or reported by the media. But he literally announced it ahead of time on this date, and then it happened. He's basically like, he's going to do it. He's doing the beginning of Russian. Okay, he's saying this. Okay, and so you have the 2 days. Okay, so from here, so that's invader. This is invader of the body. Okay, the coronavirus viruses. Okay, and then this is the invasion of. What? Russia is, so we're talking about invasion, the subject of invasion. Now we have an invasion right here. What's this invasion? The invasion of the body snatchers. Okay? It's going to take over your body. Again, this is no predictive programming. It was a movie. There was a couple versions of this movie, but again, this is 777 from here to here, and from 777 from here to here. Is that a coincidence? No, I don't think so. We're talking about invasion, okay? And then when people got the hokey pokey, it was an invasion. It's an invader. Okay, it's an invader. That's what they're trying to show. And then recently, Israel was invaded, or Gaza was invaded by by Hamas, right? Invaded. They were invaded. They invaded into into Gaza, and started killing people and everything. That's what started that. Again, it's all about, it's a contrived situation, but they're showing invasion secretly, invasion, and they're showing the invasion. Okay, now watch, invasion of the body snatchers. And then that's also symbolic of the birth of God, birth of the false God. 777 is God. Okay, birth of false God here at this day, because again, he will control. He'll be the the eye on top of the pyramid, or the all-seeing eye on top of the pyramid, or the capstone on top of the pyramid, controlling everybody, complete control. Okay, and here it is. Invasive body snatchers about in 1956. In fact, the whole date that came out, and the one in 1978 with Donald Sutherland, those are all the dates, the names, the people, their birth dates. They're all this time frame of the eclipse day. And I'm not going to get into all that right now, but I will get into this very simply. So it's super simple to show you the invasion of the body snatchers in extended and reverse extended English. So watch, 2 plus 2 is 4. Then we have 8. And they have 1 plus 5 plus 14 plus 4 is 24. Simple as that. And again, I could show you 10 to 20, maybe 20 more in everything that has to do with this movie. The him, her, and all equate to this date. I mean, it's just crazy. But I don't want to do a 20-hour video. Okay, now this is a very prolific author that does books on has done books on every Egyptian god. Okay, his name is Marcus Carabas. Okay, now how this relates, many ways, of course, to some of the things I've been sharing is in iPad Goat. And if you're not familiar with iPad Goat, it's been removed recently. The main one has been removed. Okay, people go, oh, it's not removed, it's still out there. Those are all copies. Okay, those are all copies. The original producer was Heliofont of iPad Goat. On their website and on YouTube and everything, they removed it, and they did that in September of this year. Okay, September 5th to be exact. And I'm going to show you that in this video. Okay, why? Okay, so they removed it because it's massive predictive programming. It's the plan. I've been told by two different Freemasons. One was a 32nd degree Mason. The other one I can't even say. They've confirmed that this is the plan. The iPad Go was a plan. It was a silly animation that had put out all kinds of information about what's coming and the birth of the Antichrist, and the second, in a sense, and third, 9, 1, and then 1. It's really the second and third, 9, 1, and then 1. I'm changing it to the second and third 9, 1, and then 1. And in my third video, I'm going to explain that through the attacks that happen on 9, 1, and then 1, and the towers and everything and all that, and proving it. It'll blow your ever-loving mind. I mean, it's blown. What the Lord showed me about all this stuff it's the conclusion of this in my third video will be heart-stopping. I mean, crazy, off the charts. What is shown to people and they have no idea. It's hidden in plain sight. It's going to smack you across the face that you didn't realize this, and this is what's been shown. It's just it's crazy. Okay, but Anubis was the boat that the Antichrist is sitting on in iPad Goat, and then I've been told by the Lord that Isis is born on 210, and 210 is 2-1, and then 0 is hiding O, which is 15 or 6, 216. But then there's other things. But then the thing I want to put your attention on is this book of Osiris and this figure right here. Because what's common in Egyptian sarcophagus, or with the burying of the king of these Egyptian kings, is that their arms are crossed, or they have these little, whatever these are, ruling sticks or scepters or whatever. I haven't looked up what they're called or whatever, but the ruling mechanisms, I guess. Maybe they're whips and a hook. I don't know. Anyway, they cross these. They cross their arms and these, or just cross their arms in their sarcophaguses and things like that. Because back then, they knew the day that was coming. And I'm going to show this. Now watch this. This is crazy. So this is the X, okay? This is the X. Again, this one has crossed arms and crosses these, whatever these things are, okay? Again, I could do research on every tiny little thing, but it just takes time. I didn't get into what these exactly are, but I know they're ruling instruments that show their authority, and maybe they could just smack people. I mean, I don't know. I know of some other ones out there, like a mace and that kind of thing. Different things like that. What I just mentioned earlier. Anyway, so they cross it, and this is about the day of the X. Literally, hundreds and thousands of years ago, the demons had a plan eventually to form a new Babylon. God destroyed the Tower of Babel, and they had a plan, since he confounded their language and destroyed the Tower of Babel and all this. They had a new plan that would take time to come into they needed technology. You needed all the resources, and you had to find all the resources. You had to mine things, and you had to come up with the technology. You had to come up with computer that they knew about how to put together computers, and all this stuff. But they needed all this stuff they needed all this infrastructure and all this stuff, and it took years and years to finally get to a point where they can embed something in somebody and have all this stuff all set up in somebody's body with a hokey pokey ahead of time, and then embed something in somebody, and then they have their active computer that's completely controlled by one person, Satan. Okay, this is all contrived for thousands of years, hundreds and thousands of years. Okay, but anyway, so that's X. Okay, that's the X, where the arms are crossed and this is crossed. I'm just telling you, believe it or not. Okay, but watch. And that is a symbol of, also in the pyramids, is the symbol of the ruler being on top and overseeing everybody and having complete control over everybody underneath. Okay, that's a real pyramids. That's the real pyramid scheme. The real pyramid scheme. Okay, now watch. This is pretty crazy. In this author of all these books about all these Egyptian gods, in his name is an anagram of what's coming with this mark. Okay, this is the symbol for a mark, or the Tau, which is sideways. Okay, it's crazy. Now watch. That is Barak marks USA. Barak marks USA. It's also another one. It's another one. Now look at this, and I color code them to show how it makes this. It is a scarab mark us. A scarab mark us. Now when I found this one, the Lord led me to this one. By the way, again, the Lord Jesus Christ, my friend, my mentor, my master, he is incredible. He is the one that leads me to all this stuff. It's all him. I'm just bothering to listen and to not do my own will as much as possible. Try to do his will more than, just like he said about his father. He says, without my father, I can do nothing. It says, without him, I could do nothing. He's all tapped in the whole time. And I'm doing my best to be tapped into him as much as possible all the time. And that I've learned over the years how to do that, how to listen and only move when he shows me to move, and talk when he shows me to talk. And it's been through so much trial and tribulation to get to there as well. So being that I'm now 50, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's really crazy. So it's taken forever to get to this point, it seems like. And the redemption's coming for the faithful. And when that's exciting, but it's also, if you're concerned about other people, which you should be, then that's loving, that's godly. I'm torn because there's so many people I'm concerned about, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to show them the truth, especially like this. But when these things start coming, then there'll be a lot of opportunity to share things with people when they're being woken up. Okay, anyway, so moving on. So this is a scare marshal. So that made me immediately think of iPad goat. There's the scarab. By the way, that's an Egyptian beetle, and has to do with resurrection. It's death and resurrection. Okay, that's what the Egyptian beetle. And same thing with Osiris. When I showed you the book Osiris, Osiris is the god of resurrection because he was resurrected in mythology. Okay, in Egyptian mythology, he was resurrected. So, and that has to do with the raising of Osiris ritual that goes on in D.C. every presidential inauguration. The secret ritual, you can look it up. There's a couple of brothers that did a really great series on that, raising of Osiris. And it's about raising of the ruler to rule, to take the place of the sun god Ra. And that's Osiris. Okay, anyway, this is the scarab that will mark us. And notice the scarab crawls right on his forehead. That's where the mark goes for the people who receive the mark, on the forehead or on the hand. There's the mark. And there's a little mark on the scarab. What is that? Oh, look. Oh, it's a pyramid with a capstone, or an all-seeing eye, or a capstone. See, that's a pyramid with a capstone. And that's the mark. A scarab mark us. That's the mark. So, and this is also symbolic. This is many layers, several layers of symbolisms here. But this is also, people will, in a sense, die to themselves and be reborn with a mark. And this is also the Antichrist, as shown as a boy, and Stinky B.O. dying and then coming back to life, and then being the one who brings the mark. Okay, but this is very complicated as well to explain everything. But anyway, so see, again, there's the capstone, the all-seeing eye. In fact, if you look at capstone, okay, capstone, and then all-seeing eye, there's massive similarities here. Now watch. I'm going to show you, but first I'm going to show you capstone, and then I'm going to show you, let's do capstone first. So capstone, again, equals 216, just like Stinky BO, and because 216, again, is 666 on, and then this is an extra 6, 6666. 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days. 666 on, 6 months, 6 weeks between the two eclipses. Okay, again, there it is. The two eclipses will be, the final eclipse will be this, the mark, or the control, the mark on the forehead, okay? And then we also have forehead. So look at capstone and forehead. Now I put on here and capstone because I'm showing you switching back and forth. But this is the numbers for forehead and this is the numbers for capstone. I'm just showing that each one of these has those different numbers. But they both add up to 216 and 1296. Is that a coincidence that forehead and capstone would be? No, because the forehead, the capstone is on the forehead right now in this iPad Go. See how intricate this is? Now I'm going to get into all-seeing eye in a second. Watch this. See how this is. Now watch. Boom. Now if we go either forehead or capstone, either one, and we add this up, in this example it's forehead, but I'm just showing you, and capstone is not shown right here right now, but if you were to add up either one of these all the way across like that, you get 1512, 1512. Now, this is where it comes in, where these relate. It's insane. See, if I didn't know this, I wouldn't know how to relate these. It's crazy. If I didn't know adding these all up together and going backwards. Excuse me. So now you add these up backwards. So again, don't count the zeros. 321 plus 417 plus 502 plus 911 is also of all-seeing eye is, when you add these up backwards, you get what? 2151, which is exactly this one backwards. The same exact number backwards. Is that a chance? And how did I even get to here? The Lord led me. How could I even find this? How could I even know this? The Lord, either I'm a super genius, okay, which I'm not, okay, or the Lord Jesus himself led me to all these things I'm showing you that are incredible. I mean, so the simple answer, he led me. I mean, I'm not that bright. I mean, I'm somewhat bright, but I'm not that smart to figure all this stuff out. I'm not. He'll just say, oh, go here. Oh, check this out. Oh, there's something here. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this. Oh, don't go here. Don't go there. Okay, look here. Go here. That's how he does this stuff. He's like, oh, there's something in this. Keep looking. Keep looking. And then boom, boom, boom. Oh, don't go here. That's how he does it. Eventually I find it. And that's just a process of elimination. But he's taking me down a trail and having me turn at the right spots. Other people, they go down a trail, they don't hear him, they just make their own decisions and they get lost. Or they get a little bit of truth if they listen to a little bit. The more you listen, the more you'll get. The less you do your own will, the more you'll get. Hello, that's how it works. You can't just do whatever you want. That's not how this works. God can't be God if you just do whatever you want. Think about God's perspective, okay? He's off planet, okay? He's in all these things. He's omnipresent, right? He can see more than you can see by far. He can see the end from the beginning and everything else, okay? And how stupid is it for you not to tap into that? I mean, isn't that's a definition of foolishness, of insanity. I mean, it really is. And if think about it, if you're not doing that, if you're doing your own things every day, then are you really? Oh yeah, I gotta drink some water. Yeah, I gotta dry. Speaking of that, let me drink something for a second here. If you're doing your own thing every day, then you're getting what your own benefit, or what you're doing, what you're reaping. Why not get what He has for you? See, but people don't want to do that. First of all, most people mistrust God. They don't really believe He is who He say He is. They mistrust Him, okay? Because they've been hurt. Things have happened. You've been hurt. Things have happened to you, so you kind of mistrust Him. Really, when you get down to it, you won't give it up to Him, okay? And then the other thing that people are dealing with is they don't think they're good enough. So it's a mixture of both. Usually, it's rarely just one. It's usually a mixture of both. Okay, over the years I've slayed the shame thing where I don't think I'm no good because the Lord says I'm good, so I'm going to believe Him, even though I know I'm not that good in myself, but I am good when He says I'm good, so that's good enough for me. Okay, see what I'm saying? And then I know He's good because He's done incredible stuff. He's saved me from death so many times. He's done incredible things for me that I can't even. It's off planet. It's off. It's incredible. He's shown me things that are incredible. He's given me peace in my heart over. Literally, when I turned 40, I healed in massive ways. It took me like 20 years to get there, from 20 to about 40. And I went through hell on earth. I mean, seriously, when I turned about 40 is when I started really healing some of the biggest stuff. And that's when I really, that my 40th birthday, it's weird. It's just like 40 years in the desert. The Lord was like, oh, you've been 40 years in the desert. It was just so crazy. And then I just started feeling peace. And then I was okay. Like, I was okay with everything. I wasn't tormented by all the things in my past and all this stuff. And I hit a milestone at that point. And then that's when he just started showing me the end time stuff and said, I want to give you all this stuff to show you, and you need to share with everybody. It is crazy. It's just, that's how it works. You have to be, he has to trust you. You have to trust him, and he has to trust you. Okay. And if you're not putting yourself in that position, if you're not assuming the position of both, he trusts you and you trust him, then forget about it. Get over your. I'm telling you, get over your stuff right now and trust him and let him trust you, and you will go incredible places with the Lord, with the Father. It's just amazing. So anyway, keep going. Sorry, well, not sorry. This is just me being real and moving by the Spirit. Okay, so again, so this one backwards is 2151. This one forward is 2151 backwards. So now watch. Now we're just gonna take this number and we're just gonna. They're both the same number, but this one in a sense is backwards. So we'll make this right side like that because it's just this number. Both of these have the same number, but backwards. Now, what's going on here? What's in 2151? Well, look. Remember Stinky Bio's number, the day he was born, day of the year? It's 21. 5 plus 1 is 6. Okay, then look up here. Ooh, what's that? 2 plus 1 is 3, and then 5 and 1. That's the Robo-Pope. Pope and a rope. There you go. See? There it is. They are the capstone, the forehead, the all-seeing eye. They are written into all this stuff. I'm telling you. Believe it or not, it's right in front of your face. Whether you understand it or not, it's right there. It's right there. It's in the numbers. The numbers don't lie. And people say, oh, you can make numbers say whatever you want. Oh, really? Well, maybe you think you can, and you've seen hacks that say that, but that doesn't mean that it equates. I show all kinds of different ways that this stuff cannot happen, and I back it up by all kinds of other things in my videos, and that's why I make a case, and that's why my videos are the length they are and everything. That's why I show you all kinds of stuff to keep proving this. So, by the way, 216, again, Stinky B.O., day of the year of his birth. Upside down and backwards is 912. Now, I want to say this again. I've said a few times in the past on my videos. I had a dream about 3 years ago, roughly, where I sat up in my bed, and it was a dream, and then Jesus was standing up in the end of the room, kind of a little distance from the end of my bed, and in the air was a 216. It was 216, big 216, kind of floating in the air, in between us, and then he said 216, and then he grabbed the 6 and flipped it, is 219. And so if you go like this, 216 is 219, read it that way. He was telling me that, and I completely understand it now, I believe. Okay, many times I thought I understood, of course, but now I'm pretty sure I understand it. 216 is 219 because 219 or 912 is the 9th of December, or December 9th. Okay, 219 read backwards would be 9th of December, or this way is 9th of December. Just flip this whole thing over, 9th of December, and that's when it begins. Okay, now to confirm that in other ways, boom, in a Simpson episode called Homer the Great. Oh, and don't bother calling 9 1 and then 1 anymore. Here's the real number. So what they're saying is this isn't the real attack. It's this one. See, that's their code. Don't worry about that. That's not the real attack. This is it right here. Okay, he's given, and when he becomes a member of this secret society in this episode, the Stonecutters, which is again, a foretelling or an admitting of Freemasons, the Stonecutters, being behind the scenes and controlling everything, and everything they show in this episode is crazy. All the things that they do, the numbers are all there. They show the day of the eclipse and the attack days in so many ways. Here, I'm not going to do all that. I could do a 3-hour video on just this episode. It's crazy. And I'll pretty much prove it. Okay? Pretty much prove it. So, and he's in front of the sacred scroll, a sacred parchment right here. And that's all the numbers for the eclipse day and everything like that. But anyway, so what happens in the episode is that he becomes part of this club, right? because his father is a member, and that's all true too. That is very common. In fact, the 32nd degree Mason I knew and talked to and verified who he was and everything. His grandfather was a member, and he was about to die, and told him, "Don't do this because you'll sell your soul," like I did. And then he died shortly after that. But he was having dreams from the Lord Jesus. This particular guy was a 32nd degree Mason, and his grandfather was a 33rd degree Mason, and he was having dreams from Jesus, and Jesus was pulling him away from that, and he separated from that, and then he started telling people like me about the secrets about how iPad Go was their plan, and I already knew that, but he confirmed it, and he was amazed how much I knew, and I knew more than a lot of the Freemasons, even 33rd degree Masons, and because I got this from Jesus and stuff, and he couldn't believe how much I knew, and he was asking me questions, and he was also confirming things that he knew that I knew, and all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. So anyway, in this episode, he messes up, and he makes this a napkin when they're eating, and he all tears it up and gets it all gross and everything, and then they banish him, or they basically make him walk naked and carrying a boulder, okay, the rock of shame or whatever, okay, and then this guy goes, "The mark." Okay, get it? Okay, we're talking about the mark. Okay, the mark is on 126 or 4th of April 8th, 2024. 126 or 216, right? The mark. He goes, "The mark." Well, here's the mark. It's on him. Okay, what is the mark? Yeah, Homer naked is not a good sight. Okay, anyway, so here's the mark. He's got a mark. Well, that's hiding something. Again, it's it's messaging. Just like we saw. Remember the Z or the X? This is kind of angled. So it's also an H, but it's kind of angled. Most of the representation of it is at a 45 degree angle. But what it essentially is, and there's a few different ways to describe it, and they all equal the same thing, but I'm just going to show you the main way to describe it, which is two hammers end to end. Two hammers end to end just happens to be 216. Just happened. And I also did two hammers sharing the same handle, and two claw hammers, and all kinds of stuff. And it was all end up being some version of 216. But two hammers end to end is 216. It's crazy. So what is 216? Like I said, 216 is hiding 126, and that is the date, the mark. And he said the mark. Okay. I mean, I'm proving it. I mean, come on, people. Please wake up. The ones that don't see this, I mean, are you kidding? He says the mark. He's wearing the mark. And so what that means, and they call him, oh, he's the chosen one because he has the mark. So who's really the chosen one? The one who has the mark. The mark is 216. So who's 216? Stinky B.O., the 44th press. He's the chosen one. He's the Antichrist Obama. I mean, seriously, it's right there in front of your face. See it. I'm proving it. Every video. Okay, watch. Now, this is reverse order. Now, what's in this? His birth, when he becomes this. Okay, now I'm going to show this. Watch this. 270 is upside down and back. Remember, this is just, these two are switched right here, and then this is a more simplistic version of this. Okay, this is upside down and backwards. So 270 becomes OL2. What's OL2? Okay, I made these different colors. L is 12. And then 20 is 20. He's born December 20th. December 20th and 21st is the winter solstice. And that's the birth of the sun god, like I shared in the other video. And I'm going to share more. But the sun god is on, depending on the year, 1220 and 1221. Okay, and that's the tsunami day on the west coast, and the tsunami day on the east coast is 1221. And I'm going to show that a lot more in the next video. But it's crazy. But also, remember, 0 is also O. So if O is 15 and 2, that's 15 plus 2 is 17, and then we have 12, or 1217. And that just happens to be his reported death day. So we've got reported death day and birth, where lightning falls from heaven. So he dies on the 17th, and then lightning falls from heaven. Satan gets kicked out of heaven and then strikes his dead body, and he becomes the sun god, or the born of the devil on 1220. I'm telling you, that's what it is. Okay, so boom, that's how it works. Okay, so he's like, he goes, well, what's your names or whatever? He goes, oh, we go by numbers. He's number 14 and I'm number 12. Okay, so there you go, 1214. This is the day. This is the zombie day. This is also the alien invasion. Okay, again, invasion. There's going to be an alien invasion, a false alien invasion. Okay, on the 14th, and people are going to be turned to zombies from the hokey pokey. So, but another clue of this in 1214 is the time frame of 8 + 8. Just like Doc Brown in Back to the Future said, 88 miles per hour. So that's 8 + 8 days, or a 16-day process. Okay, that's in between the beginning of sorrows and the tribulation. And this ramps up stuff going into basically hell on earth. Okay, the tribulation. Okay, that's 8 + 8 days, or 16 days from December 9th, pinned to the top of my comments, the whole timeline, December 9th through December 24th, Christmas Eve, okay? Because he's going to win the war on Christmas by Christmas. And that's 1214. And to show this even more, he immediately, because he says that he's 14 and I'm 12, and he immediately attacks Mr. Burns. He grabs his nose and then kicks him. So people are going to, let me go back here. People are going to lose their minds, and some are going to attack people, some are going to lose their minds and be walkers, and some people are going to kill themselves. And those are the three different types of hokey pokeys. Okay, that happened. The Lord told me that the three different manufacturers are the three different types. Okay, so on 1214, they're going to attack. Boom, and he grabs him and then he kicks him. Okay, and then they call him number 29. Okay, but he's also this is Mr. Burns. Okay, in The Simpsons. I don't really watch it, but I've seen clips, and I've had to watch things for the predictive programming that's in it, and I've learned a lot of things about it, but I don't really care to watch these shows because they're just they're funny in some ways, but they're funny at expense of all the stuff that they're programming people. It's nonstop programming from start to finish on every episode. It's crazy. But okay, so and this is and then they called him number one. So they're saying, oh, we don't call each other names. And who's the first guy? Who's the chief guy? He's number one. In fact, the voice of number one is Patrick Stewart. And remember, Patrick Stewart was in Star Trek The Next Generation, and he kept saying number one, because that was his first officer. He called him number one, and then he's the voice of this number one. Is that a coincidence? No, because number one, however you look at it, in many ways it's not only the attack days, in several ways it's also the day of the mark, and I'm going to show you this. So he's number one, and then they call him number 29. Okay, so remember we had 12, 24. Those two guys. One guy was 12, one guy was 24. But this is hidden here. You got number one and 29, and upside down backwards you have 1, 2, 6. The day of the mark. Okay, there it is, right there. You just combine these two. I mean, that's how this works. They said this guy first, and then they said this guy next, and then they said they're 12 and 20 and 24. Okay, so because he is higher number than these other guys, they can attack him. But what's really going on is they're attacking him on the date of the attacks, 12, 24, 12, 14, 12, 13, and 14. Okay. Anyway, and then do you know who this guy is? He's an elite. He's the elite guy. He's like the guy with the most money. Okay, and he's the villain. And you know who they modeled this after? Okay, well I'll get to that in a second. Okay, so first, this is Homer the Great. Okay, the episode, and look at this, season 6, episode 12, or 612. Again, 216 backwards, or 12, 4 + 8, April 8th, 24. There it is, right there. And then Homer the Great just happens to be 351 and 216. Get rid of the 0. Again, Stinky Bo, the Pope, and Stinky Bo. This is all over and everything. And there's the day of the mark. It's simplified, like I showed you before. And then watch. They modeled this guy, Mr. Burns, after Jacob Rothschild, the number one family, the richest family in the world. They are, what people don't know is they are trillionaires. They are the trillionaire family. And this is Jacob. By the way, Jacob exactly equals Burns. and look, see? So as he's bald right there. See how his hair comes down like that? He's got a big nose. He's got the funky teeth. Again, from all the inbreeding and everything like that, they look funky. At least he does. And then, that's him. This is him. And he used to have kind of his hair go down here when he was younger. So just like that. And he was balding pretty young. Anyway, These guys are wicked people. I've seen this guy interviewed. He's a piece of crud, man. He really is. These people are the worst of the worst. And then watch. So I'll give you an example. His cousin, Evelyn de Rothschild, his cousin, is poking the King of England. Okay, just this accents the point of how powerful these are. These are the most powerful family, the Rothschilds, that there are. In fact, they're one of 13 families that rule the world, and they are the highest family because they are the most influential and they literally are trillionaires. Most people don't know that, but they are a trillionaire family. Maybe the only one. Maybe the only the Rockefellers might be close to that, but I know, but the Lord showed me, and He's given me some evidence that they are trillionaires, and they own so much that people don't know. It's incredible. They own lots of stuff in the United States. They own a lot of what do you call it? Utilities in the United States. A ton. I mean, and they have all kinds of names and stuff people don't know and everything. And I found some of this stuff, including Hawaii. They literally half own the plant or the thing that fracks Kilauea, that supposedly gets the heat from the lava and everything, and makes, I forget, it's called thermal. I forget what it's called now. I can't think of the word right now. Of course, it's a thermal extracting or whatever, for the heat turns into energy, and they own that plant in the base of Kilauea, but it really fracks it and it keeps it going, so it keeps creating earthquakes and stuff. So it's eventually a big chunk's gonna fall off the end of Hawaii and cause this big tsunami. They all have planned, but they own half of that. They literally, technically, and I found the paperwork on that and all this stuff. Anyway, so he's poking him in the chest. Who would dare poke him in the chest except someone who's above him? He is serving him. Okay, I'm telling you. This proves that. I mean, it shows that. And then so Burnsy, okay, they call him Burnsy before they grab his nose and kick him and attack him, basically. They call him Burnsy, okay, for Mr. Burnsy, and they call him 29, which is secretly 2 9s. And to prove that out, Burnsy is 99 for the 99th day of the year. The day of the eclipse of the day they were out the mark on this date. These two upside down and backwards. Okay, I'm telling you. And then number 1 is 107. I'm gonna show you what 107 is in a second. It's huge. Remember I showed you 108? Well, 107 is huge. 108 and 107 are huge. But also, number 1 is also in English and English Sumerian. You put these two together, not add them together, but if you just go like this is another way of doing this. 6 plus 4 plus 2 is 12, and then 8 plus 16 is 24. So again, in these, this is also, okay, these are also hiding the eclipse day as well, but I won't get into that right now. Okay, it's right in here. Okay, it's because we have 8. And then we have these reduced down to 3. You have 8, 3 plus 1 is 4, and 6. 8 plus 6, but it's also 1224. Okay, so from 1224, December 24, 2023, 107 days later is the 99th day of the year in 2024. It's all incorporated in all this on these details. Okay, and I'm gonna show you more of that later. For example, right here, well, this is a good segue right into it. So we're looking at the time frame of these attacks on the United States to completely destroy the United States by the 23rd, 24th. It's going to start on here from the removal of creepy Uncle Joe Biden time right here. And many other things. Again, look at my timeline, pinned to the top of comments here. And all these events in between. I'm not going to talk about them right now. It's pinned to the top of comments. So check those out if you don't know those already. And then it's about from here to there with game over with the world as far as their control on people who are not escaped already or not running for their lives, and where the Lord doesn't help them. The ones that are still on the planet that finally wake up to what happened to the ones who were taken away and raptured away and everything like that. The ones who are still around and God helps, or a lot of people will be murdered and destroyed that aren't part of the system and who haven't taken the mark, or beheaded immediately. So anyway, from here to here, okay, watch. From there to there is 121 or 122 days, depending on the date here. So whether 12/9 is the pre-day, and this is technically the first day, 121 days and 122 days to there. Now, this is very symbolic. I'm sure a couple of ways how these are symbolic also about these time. So 121 is straight, 121 in English Orthodox Antichrist, okay? And that's Stinky BO. And then 122 is what? Oh, it just happens to be his cohort. So friends, and there's many other versions of these numbers that are out there for both of these too. But I'm just going to give that as an example. Also, if you just add, which you can do anytime, you can add a zero to anything for symbolically. Boom, add a zero, and you literally have the first day of 1210 and his birth on 1220. Just add a zero. See, these are incestuous numbers. They add up to each other, and when this stuff bounces off this solid date of this, they add it into many other things that are symbolic of both. And I can show you how this is symbolic of both as well. These numbers, because they just keep producing each other. Okay, but let's just keep going. Now let's look at the last days, the 23rd and 24th. There's the 108 and the 107. These are promoted all over the place in the world. I mean, just massively. And I'm going to get into that more in the next video as well. But for example, so pretty much for the most part, the sun is 108 suns from the earth, and the moon is 108 moons from it. I got to show the. I'm not going to get into explaining it right here. I'll have to show it. But there's so many things about 108. If you haven't heard about 108, it's in so many things in creation, in religion, many religions, and all this stuff. It's crazy. And 107 in other ways. So anyway, I'm going to show you one example how they are. A big example. Now watch. Whenever you see an analog wristwatch being sold or promoted or whatever, they have one of three main positions. It's 10 and then 7, which is 107, 10, 7, 107, or 10, 8, 108. Okay, I mean that's because it's showing that. Okay, I mean, why would watches? I mean, you have the random watches that are something else. Okay, but most of them are either 107, 108, or this is a combination. This is 10 and right in between 7 and 8. So again, 10, 7, and 8 is that right there. See, 10, 7, and 8 is showing both these days to the eclipse day or to the rolling out of the mark day. See how that is? Isn't that crazy? I'm telling you. And then the one that seems to be either the most or just as equal to these other ones is oh, by the way, so that would be 107 or 108 days from either 2023 or 2024 to the eclipse day. Okay, that's what that's showing. It's right in between 107 and 108. Then the other just as much or more than all these other ones are 10 and then 10 or 110. Get rid of the 0. 110. So it just happens to be when this Antichrist is born on December 20th. Okay, that's the time zone. It's 20th on the Western time zone and the 21st on Eastern time zone. So from the 20th of December to the mark day or the eclipse day, just happens to be 110 days. And by the way, in 9 Zuls, 11 Zuls, both towers were 110 stories. And there's just so much I get into right now. I'm just going this kind of track here though, but see that's 10, 10, take away the 0, just like we had 107, 108, and then we have 110 right there, 110. That's what these are showing secretly. Believe it or not, that's what it is. I'm telling you. Lord's made it super clear to me. Okay, now watch. So this is it's the 23rd and 24th. Each attack day is 2 days because there's an event day and there's a reporting day. It also has to do with when something happens in the world. There's 2 days that are going on. Have to do with time zones. Where you're at in the world. So when something happens where I'm at in Australia, it's usually the next day. Because I'm in northern Colorado, then usually the next day. So that's a 2-day thing. So there's a number of reasons why it's a 2-day thing. Each thing is a 2-day. So they use the numbers and all the representations and symbolisms for both days. But in a general, this time frame is one of the ways it's looked at as 1224. Okay, well, guess what? This date right here is also 1224. 4 plus 8 is 12. And then the year 2024 or 24. See, 1224, 1224. Now, I was asking the Lord, okay, and then He was showing me how these are connected and with these numbers and all this and how these two are relate to each other. And a lot of the ways is how these numbers relate and how this number relates to this and all kinds of things. For example, I'm going to say it right now, 108, okay, another thing that 108 is, and I wasn't going to say this, but the Lord's telling me to say this, 108 is 12 times 9. 108 is 12 times 9. Oh my gosh! Wait till I get into the 9, 1, and then 1 stuff in my next video. You're gonna see more things that this stuff is. 108 is 12 times 9. I was just hiding that. Oh my goodness! Anyway, so I asked him, okay, why are these? Why is this a big deal? Why is it? Why are these numbers a big deal? Why are these both 12, 24? And why? And I was like, why? And then he showed me. I'm like, oh my gosh! So 1, 2 plus 2 is 4, and then 4. They're both 144. So another reason that absolutely, I believe, proves this so incredibly is that we're looking at the good 144 going up, and I've said it would be in the last day. The balance of the body of Christ going up on this day, the 144 being the main group, the faithful 144, and then we have the cruddy, the false 144, the faithful to the Antichrist, the ones who are senators and governors and actors and all that are submitting, that know or in the know to some degree. There's a evil 144. Okay, I'm telling you, and they're going to be stuck on earth and cursed forever, and they don't realize it. Okay. So going up on that is 144. See that 144, and on this day, locked in. And by the way, again, these ones are the body of Christ. You're going to go reach and attach to the head, the real one, the real body and the real head. The fake body, the ones who receive the hokey pokey with the alien delusion, the alien delusion. The good alien's going to, with the Obama's defeat the bad alien invasion that happens earlier in the time frame. But then they're going to defeat them with Obama and everything. And then they're going to say, oh, okay, now there's no wars and everything. We're going to come out. You guys are going to be like us, like the good aliens. We seeded you, this panspermia. We made you and everything like that. We're the gods. You're our subjects, everything else. And you're going to be like us, take our technological, answer to everything. And then they're going to be locked in, and it's going to be horrible. But they have no idea. And then they're the body that's going to, and then they're attaching to his head. Okay. The false head and body. False head and body attached to each other. See how this works? This is huge. This is massive. You understand this. You understand how this works, and it's incredible. And I'm going to keep proving it in different ways. Now, look, in the Bible, it calls the righteous have the seal of God on their forehead. The unrighteous have the mark on their forehead also. See how this is the real deal? This is the false deal? Enemy just counterfeits everything God does. God does something forward, enemy does it backwards. God does something good, enemy does it evil. God does something light, enemy does it dark. God does something, pure, enemy makes it cruddy and horrible and all that. Okay, get it the opposites. Okay, so the real seal on the forehead is mocked and graffitied over by the mark. But they equal the same. Now watch this. This is so crazy. Okay, so we literally have right here, we have 2, 4 backwards. So there's 2, 4. And then we have, if we just move the 1 over here, we have 1. And then 4 plus 7 is 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. So this is hiding 1224. Okay, but now let's put it forward. Okay, now this one here is 8. We're going to go backwards. 8. Then 6 plus 7 is 13. And then these reduce down to 6. Because I can see where this is going because I just know what's going on here. So, but now let's put this forward. 8, 3 plus 1 is 4, and then 6 forward. 8, 4, 6. Again, 8th of April, 24. 2 plus 4 is 6, okay? So we have these 2 dates right here. Again, the sealed of God on 12/24 are leaving, and the mark will happen on 8/4/6, or 8th of April, 24. Now watch this way. Another way of doing this is now let's add these up backwards. So 417, but don't count the 0. 417 plus 24 is 441, or 144 backwards. Okay, and then this 876 plus 654 is 1530. But that's back. Go with the 0. That's 351 this way, and that's backwards 144. So check this out. The good 144 are on 12/24. The bad, who's that on the eclipse day? That's the Pope, the bad Pope on this. Why is the Pope involved in this? Because this is of God, and this is of the false God. And the Pope is the false prophet for the false God. And he's right there. That's the Pope's number. That's the day of the year he was born, like I showed you many times. Now let's go like this. Now, on both of these, the seal and the mark, because they're both add up to the exact same thing, because they're equal, but one's evil, one's good. They're the two sides of the coin, the good side and the evil side. They both add up to 420, 714, and 456 and 678. Both add up to 1134. Like I showed in my last video, 1134. Remember, these are all backwards, but this is unique. This upside down and backwards is hell. It is both funny and sad and horrible at the same time. But this is hell. So what's going to happen here is, again, boom. This is going up. The faithful 140 with the seal of God on their forehead are going up in the body, whole body of Christ. That I could like this shows us the 144. I mean, it's crazy. Are going up on 1224, leaving hell behind them on earth. Okay, remember the opposites. So this is leaving, and then right here on the mark day, these people are going to be cursed and going to hell on 8/4/6, 8th of April 24. I mean, it's right here. I mean, man, I'm sorry if you don't see it. It's all in the numbers. It's right here, and I have it so many different ways. Now watch. I'm going to share this in iPad Goat. There's so many scenes I could show you, but I'm going to show you this again. People that haven't seen this before or whatever. So when Stinky BO is the figure of the Antichrist, okay, and there's so many reasons I've shared why and how and everything, but he's going into this cathedral, okay, just like when the queen was, he's really the queen. He's a female and male. He's a hermaphrodite clone, okay. So the queen died, and by the way, the queen died on September 8th, okay, in 2022, right? September 8th. And by the way, Homer Simpson, in that Homer the Great, he was number 908, September 8th. He was number 908 member of the Stonecutters. And that has to do with the king or the queen dying, because the queen died. So he's going to die. When he dies, so remember, the Antichrist is coming through this opening he's going inside the cathedral right here through this opening. And this opening is in the shape of the Pope with this fish hat. So that's both of them. This is Stinky BO and this is the Pope. Okay, look at the fish hat in silhouette. Lord showed me this. It's incredible. And then on the other side, when they're born, this is Stinky BO coming out on the boat of Anubis with the fish in it, with the basically the sheep fish. These are the Christians that believe this crud, that haven't been taken and are taken over by this. The reason, and it says the reason why the faithful aren't taken over, because they're basically, we're immune because we're taken away. It's as if it was possible, even the elect would be deceived, but we're not. We're taken away, so it's not possible. But the sheepfish are in his boat with him. The sheepfish. And no, we're not talking about the goat fish, the goats. Again, there's a difference between the goats, which are the bad people that willingly assume. There's the deceived sheepfish that are in his boat. So when he comes out, so he goes in the cathedral. When he dies, they're both going to die on the same day, like I showed, and then they're both going to come to life. He's going to come to life, and then he's going to say, he's going to be the false prophet. He's going to say that Stinky BO brought him back to life on that same day. But look. There's the form of him right here. That is his form right here. So it's Stinky BO being this guy, and then him being the Pope. Then there's the exit right here, and then there's water rushing behind him, and that's from the tsunami. The tsunami day is when they're both going to come back to life, and Satan's going to indwell him, and then he's going to bring him back to life, because they both died on the same day, and that's going to be massive, huge news. Both going to die on the same day, and it's going to be reported. They're going to both die on December 16th, but reported on December 17th. Okay, and then that's why I showed you about the 17th in those numbers for the hammer, that mark. Okay, anyway, so then watch. Now here it comes out here. So again, these are two together, but it comes out, and this is the 20th. Okay, so that was the 17th when they reported dead, 16th, 17th. This is the 20th, 21st when they come out with the tsunami behind them. And then this is the 24th, like I said, and these are nukes going off. And there's several of them that these water lilies opening up. These are nukes going off, and then he's looking at this. So that's the time frame of the last day right here. The nukes going off, 23rd, 24th, and then he's looking at in a distance going to the mark or the all-seeing eye, the little Egypt. Little Egypt. He's looking at, and these are little. This is not that. And if you look at, you can think it's a distance away, but it's when you look at the way the modeling is going and everything, it's very small as far as it should be. So it's little Egypt right here, little Egypt. Okay, this is the last days when the nuke happens right here, and he wakes up right here. He's born, and then he's going to be finally born when he gets to. He's on the boat. He's going this way. When he gets to Little Egypt right here, this is Little Egypt. What's Little Egypt? I'm going to show you. Okay, but first, to show that even more right here. See, this meteor hits the capstone. See, there's the capstone. There's that all-seeing eye. See the capstone? Like you saw on the beetle that was on his forehead? Again, this is the control. So it's going to be removed, and he's going to be that capstone. So it's symbolic. It's showing the capstone, and he's going to be the capstone. He's going to there to replace the capstone. That's being removed, hit by a meteor, bam, and then he's going to be the all-seeing eye or the capstone or the mark on the forehead, as I've shown there. They all equal. Capstone, all-seeing eye, mark on the forehead. I showed you that all equals. Okay, and then it equals both of them together, Sticky B.O. and the false prophet, the Popals, Robo-Pope, the Pope on a rope. Okay, bam. So watch. So again, there's the eclipse here. Right here is Carbondale, ill. It's ill. It's not only, it's ILL or 111, or the basis of 666 is 111, or if you do Illinois, if you do ill on somebody, you do evil. Illinois, evil. Okay, and then where does Stinky B.O. come from as a senator? Illinois and Chicago and all that. I mean, are you kidding me? It's not a coincidence, okay? This is all planned. So, but where's Carbondale? Right here. Boom. Carbondale right there. See that? Is in Little Egypt. Remember I showed you Little Egypt. Little Egypt right there. That's where it's crazy. There it is, Little Egypt. See? Carbondale, the center of that. It just happens to be Little Egypt, and that's the end of the iPad Goat. I don't think so. Okay? I'm telling you, it's there. Boom. And then here he is. Just to show you another example, if you didn't know this, he's wearing the fish hat. Dagon priest with fish hat right there. This fish hat because Dagon priest. Okay, and why is he wearing this? Why is he showing? Why is he Dagon in a sense? Dagon priest with fish hat, Catholic Pope with fish hat. Okay, that's the fish hat because this looks like a fish's mouth opening. Okay, secretly, people don't realize what they see right in front of them. And see how this goes down like that? That's the fish coming down the back here. And there's other things too. I'm not getting into with that prove that. But so the Catholic Pope wears the same style hat as the old pagan priests who worship the fish god Dagon. Now, why? And this also shows that he is the right Pope. He's not only the 266th Pope, which is 2 6s and 1 6, which is 666. He is also 351 because he was born on December 17th. By the way, they both die, or they're both reported dead on December 17th, and he just happens to be born on December 17th, the opposite, the exact opposite of his birth. No, I don't think so. And then, so he's wearing a fish hat or Dagon. Now, what is the opposite of 351 or the fish hat? What's the opposite? Remember the opposites? Because that's bad. And what's good? What's good is John 21, 10 through 11. Jesus said to them, bring some of the fish which you have now caught. Simon Peter went up and drew the net to land full of large fish, 153. And although there were so many, the net was not torn. 153 is 351 backwards. Evil, good. Faithful, good, obeying Simon Peter, Jesus appearing to them after he was resurrected. 153, evil, 351 backwards of 153. Fish, 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 fish. See opposites? Bam! Man, I'm telling you. Now look at this. 108 and 107. Again, this is the last attack day. The United States is destroyed with 23 nukes on 23 cities. 108 or 107, depending on what day you come from, to the end. By the way, that's a barcode just for symbolisms of 666, because on iPad Goat, there's a barcode on the forehead of the goat. Again, showing that it's about the mark, because there's a barcode with 666 on the forehead of the goat, because he is the goat. He's the goat reborn. And I'm going to show this as well by this. Now watch. Boom. The curse of the billy goat. Okay, boys and girls, let's teach you about the curse of the billy goat. The curse of the billy goat was a sports curse that was supposedly placed on the Chicago Cubs Major League Baseball franchise in 1945 by Billy Goat Tavern owner Billy Goat, iPet Goat. Get it? You think iPet Goat's got nothing to do with things? Wow, people don't know anything about this stuff. Willie Cianis. The curse lasted 71 years. Okay, 71 years. 71. Get rid of the one. Backwards. 71 years. From 1945 to the Cubs' 2016 championship. 2016 is 216. Obama's 216, remember? Or the mark is 126, which is 4824. 4824 is 126. Okay, at the Wrigley Field, Santa's pet goat. Pet goat. I pet goat. It's a pet goat? Are you kidding me? Named Murphy. I'm not even... There's a gematria on that. This is crazy. Was bothering other fans, and so the pair were asked to leave the stadium. The pair. Obama, Sticky B.O., and the Robopope were asked to leave the stadium. Outraged, Cianis allegedly declared the Cubs, they ain't gonna win no more, which has been interpreted to mean that the Cubs would never win another National League pennant, at least for the remainder of Cianis' life. Okay, now the Cubs, okay. The Cubs lost 1945 World Series to the Detroit Tigers and did not. Oh, there's so much in this. Oh man, I gotta stop not explaining everything. Okay, the Cubs had last won the World Series in 1908. Now look, 1908 is 108. So look, we have 71 years from when he supposedly cursed them, and that's 7-1 backwards. That's 70 or 107 backwards. And then 1908 is get rid of the 9 because anything you had 19 stays the same. 108 is the 108. 107 backwards and 108, kind of hidden by putting a 9 there. 108 and 107 right in there. And there's more. On the 46th anniversary of Williams said the curse was broken. By the way, 46 is birth. Birth is 26 chromosomes from one parent and 26 chromosomes from the other. 26 plus 26 is 46. The birth of the Antichrist is 46. And then what's 46? It's 64 backwards. What's 64? 64 is how many black and white squares on a chessboard that the Illuminati use. That's an iPad goat, and that's in their temples, the chessboard, because they're playing a game of people. Okay, that's 64, which is backwards, which is birth backwards. Okay, it's a backwards birth. Okay, and then the curse, and I put the curse over here because it's 108 years of the curse. 108 years, get 108 days, and then the curse. Do you get it? Look, and then the curse is 216 or 126, that date. Okay, and then watch this. There's just so much in this. I could have a 2-hour video just on this whole idea and all these 108s and this whole thing. It's mind-boggling in this whole story and all these 108s that go. If you want to do a search on what's his name, Harry Carey Carey's a 108 with the Chicago Cubs or whatever, and there's so many, and they relate to all this stuff with this, and they even mentioned 107 and 71 and all this. Now watch this. So the Cubs then defeated, when they actually won in 2016, they defeated the American League champion Cleveland Indians. There's so much, and even all these names and everything. Look, 8-7 in 10 innings. Ready for this? So it was 10 innings. I'm going to do it backwards. 10 innings, 7-8. They say 8-7, doesn't matter. 10 innings, 7-8. Look, 107 and 108. 107 and 108. Are you following me? Do you see this? It's right clear as the 108-year curse. 108 days and then the curse. Bam. Okay, now I'm going to get into this last bit here. Why iPad Goat 2 was removed. Okay, it was removed exactly. I was monitoring this exactly when it happened, probably within hours when it happened on 9/5/2023. So what does that have to do with the curse? This is absolutely crazy. I don't approve this. Why? What does it have to do? What does it have to do with this? With the mark on this day, the curse? Let me show you. Boom. What's the exact midpoint of here? The last day of the United States, 23rd, 24th, is 108 days from there to there. And 108 days or 107 days from 2020 or 1224 to there, or 108 days from 1223 to there. And that's the end of the United States. Boom. And they have 108 and 108. And what's 108 plus 108? It's his number. Stinky BO. And what's his name? Obama. See how it's hidden? The God of destruction, the Bible says in Revelation. The God of destruction it's just happened to be Obama. Please. And right in the middle is 108 plus 108 from when iPad Go is removed to the curse or the mark comes out. 108 plus 108 is 216. And I have so much more I'm going to show you in the next one. You can't believe it. So I'm going to leave you with this. Why kids? I'm going to leave you with this. Why kids? Why on God's green earth are children called kids? Because the enemy is behind it all. If you know of kids or you have kids so-called, why are they called kids? They should be called children or young, whatever. Why are they called kids? You know that young, for example, a young sheep is called a lamb. Why aren't they lambs? That would be more appropriate, especially if you're Christian or you understand. In the Bible, a goat is a negative term. The sheep and the goats, the good people who listen to their master like the shepherd are like sheep. The hard-headed evil people are goats. How on God's green earth are people letting the world call their children kids? When kids is the name of goats, baby goats, or young goats. Think about that. And if you think that I'm wasting my time with iPad Goat, even though the Billy Goat curse was 108 years long, and it ended in 2016, 216. Obama, which 216 is 6 times 6 times 6, has nothing to do with the curse. The mark 666, and the Pope is the 266th Pope, which is 2 6s and 1 6, and all the other stuff I've shown you. And the fact that our children in general are called kids in this world. I mean, are you kidding me? Do you not see the enemy's running things? He gets you to fool you to call your children goats, baby goats. Hello, McFly, wake up. Hello. I mean, and I'm wasting my time with iPad Goat, the Billy Goat curse, the goat. I mean, there's all this stuff. Man, oh man. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Man, I have some, I wanted to tell you about Wonder Woman and Gal Gadot and how if that's how you say her name, how her name means the gold goat. It's an anagram of gold goat, and she received the gold goat in the MTV Movie Awards that were in 2012, which is the year of iPad Goat. They called themselves the Golden Goat Awards. The gold goat, and she got the gold goat, and her name is an anagram for gold goat. I mean, it is so funny and sad and sick at the same time. I have to laugh because then if I don't, I'll cry. I mean, and she was doing that X thing. Oh man. Anyway, I had to share that. It's insane. I'm literally, and I even have a video of her, and you can look it up, where she's describing Hebrew slang because she's from Israel supposedly, right? She speaks Hebrew and all that stuff, right? And so she goes, one of the slang was that it is in Hebrew, but you translate it in English. What am I, a goat? Her name means gold goat. She got a golden goat, and she's saying, "What am I, a goat?" And this has nothing to do with goats, and iPad Goat is irrelevant, and you call your children goats, baby goats, or kids, and I'm insane? Please. Wake up and smell the coffee in Brazil, people. The ones who don't believe. The ones who are on board with me and I get it, you get it. I was preaching to the choir. Thank God for you. But the other ones who you need to understand this and how your world's being controlled by all this, and I'm proving it video after video, okay, and who Sticky BO really is, and who the Pope really is, and the numbers aren't lying, and the symbols are not lying, and everything else is just screaming it out, and you can't see it, and you have every other excuse. Man, you better wake up before it's too late, and time is running out daily. and then wait till April comes. Oh my gosh, if you don't have your stuff in a row, if you're not on your knees before the Lord, you're gonna either be pursued and beheaded, or receive the mark, and you're cursed forever. Good luck with that. See how that's working out for you. See how your life and everything out and all the things you made as goals and everything are working out for you when all that happens, and that's on the way. We're in the year and it's just when Israel invaded, or when Hamas so-called invaded Israel and Gaza, that was the 6-month mark exactly. That was, as I showed in my last video, it was the 6-month mark. It was exactly 6 months away, and that is a warning as well. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm just like, man, please wake up, man, with the love of God and the love of Jesus Christ Himself. Wake up, all you who do or just won't see this stuff. Hopefully this gets through, and hopefully you who are faithful and love and see this stuff, share this with people. Please, I beg you, share this with as many people as possible. Just throw it at them. I mean, whatever you got to do, get it to them before it happens. At least they see this. What they don't agree, say, oh, Aaron, that crazy. If you have to say, oh, this dude's crazy, check it out, or this guy's is nuts. You got to check this out. Whatever you need to say, just get this in front of people. I'm telling you, it's going to be beneficial. It's going to hit the hearts of the right people and do what it needs to do. I'm telling you, the Lord showed me thousands would be turned from this, but most of them would be when it's too late. that's unfortunate, but at least that will happen. There will still be chances for people who are during the tribulation. They'll still get chances and stuff. And God is a God of many chances. But don't wait till that, because there's benefits, massive benefits of doing things sooner and being a part of His body sooner and all that. Massive. I mean, I don't get into all that. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. And I just want to right now thank everybody who's ever given to this ministry. The links are in the description box if you want to give anything. I appreciate it. I have a family of four children, and my wife, and we appreciate any kind of gifts, as far as any of that stuff, and prayers, please. Links in the description box for PayPal and even Zelle Pay and even a P.O. box if you feel led to do that by the Lord, or just feel led in general. Also, I just want to let people know too that my health is getting a lot better. I've been working out every other day, and I got this appliance. Thank you everybody who contributed to get this appliance so I can pull my jaw forward. But I had an issue. It started having the bottom one wasn't holding. Then I had to have them redo it. And so I'll be getting that this week. But it is making an effect. I am sleeping better. I had to have that sent in, so that it was kind of coming off the bottom. The top one was just fine. Anyway, that's helping me open the airway so I could sleep better. It's just massive. It's massive for me. So I'm just thankful, and I'm doing so much better, and again, getting stronger and stronger and everything. Just so, in case you're wondering about that, people who follow me and everything, I'm doing so much better. So thank the Lord. And He's all faithful. It's just been putting it in His hands. Bad things happen to good people. Man, I mean, if people go, oh, you don't have faith, that's bull. That is such bull. I mean, I can give you so many examples of how, especially Jesus things were delayed, healings were delayed involving Jesus and all kinds of stuff, and on purpose and for different reasons, and it's complicated. The things don't just heal like that. Some things takes years. You can even be the most faithful person, and things just take time. Things take time to work out. Things take time to, God's teaching you stuff. I mean, there's just so many things going on. It's complex. It's not as simple as, oh, you don't have enough faith, and so everything's not good. But it can be that too. You could not have enough faith, and that could hinder a lot of things, and all that, or you're not doing His will and all that stuff and all that. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. Sorry, I'm just being real. If you don't like me, some people say, "Yo, you're rambling. You just ramble." No, I say things that I'm inspired to say, and I'm real, and I talk about my life when it's appropriate and things like that, or when the Lord shows me to say something. That's what I do. And if you don't like it, then find someone else to talk, and they can talk whatever they want to talk. Okay, so but that's me. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be me, and that's just, I think real is refreshing. I don't want people being canned and editing themselves to oblivion. Where they're all, hey, and they're not being real. I mean, I mess up. I can't remember words and stuff sometimes, and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, that's it. That's the real me. So I choose it to be like that. So I'll leave it at that. God bless you. Please share this. Man, thank you for your prayers. I covet your prayers. Thank you for your prayers. It's kept the enemy off me to a certain degree, in a lot of different ways. I just cover your prayers. Thank you so much. And if you want to, please watch the last video that's included in the description box, the link below this video, in the description box, and check out the timeline in the comments, pinned to the top of comments. So, all right, God bless. This is Aaron with Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.